Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get into this one. All right, folks, Neyland North. Oh, crap. It's getting worse. Just when you think Tennessee Vols fans can't do any more than they've already done.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
The shenanigans continue. They're also taking over bars up in Ohio, so that doesn't shock me any. We kind of did that to Pittsburgh. We played them a couple of years ago, and they tried to keep us from getting tickets.
Big mistake. Big. Huge. I have to go shopping now.
We wound up with like 15 or 20,000 people in the stadium, and we took over a bunch of the bars in the area the night before. So I think some of that may be happening this week. Anyway, let's get into this. And also we're going to talk about Alabama. They're losing 5 stars left and right, including starters. So this is getting a little crazy down there in Bama land. I think the combination of losing Nick Saban, the NIL, and the portal is really sending a lot of these great players all over the country. But let's get into Tennessee and Neyland North. It says Tennessee fans troll Ohio State Stadium on the Wikipedia page. And of course, we already know the stories of Tennessee hijacking the tickets, getting the special code, all that kind of stuff. And I told you yesterday, a lot of this had to do with the flag planting nonsense, where they were going to make it a felony, and one of their lawmakers went up there and kind of tried to put a bill in the state house, and he's just nuts. Well, anyway, I told you that was blood in the water, and you know how Vol Twitter is. I told you they don't stop. They just keep going, and you can't really fight them. Ask Pat Forday about it. Ask Kirk Herbstreit. You don't mess with Vol Twitter, and this isn't Ohio State's fault. Well, it's that lawmaker's fault, honestly. But anyway, this is getting kind of crazy. On the Ohio State Wikipedia page, it's got an extra nickname on it. And you know it's known as the Horseshoe or the Shoe. The house that Harley built, and now it says Neyland North. It's on Woody Hayes Drive. Of course, you Ohio State people know that. But right there it is, Neyland North. Now, I don't know how long that'll stay up there. I'm sure somebody up in Ohio. Of course, that could be a felony. You got to be careful. Don't upset that lawmaker. And now let's talk about Tennessee. They're kind of taking over the bars up there, and I'll let you see that.
The pregame trash talk and tricks are already underway between fans from Tennessee and Ohio State. Now, using the app TouchTunes, Vol fans are already toying with the ears of fans in Columbus. We saw online Vol fans were using the app to remotely play Rocky Top on repeat in jukeboxes at bars near Ohio State, and we confirmed that's true. We called 8 bars near the OSU campus, and 2 said, yep, it's happening. When we called Varsity Club, you see the video, Rocky Top was blasting in the background. Thanks to Tony for the proof. We call that an early win for Vol Nation. And then late tonight, we see this on Wikipedia. We're hearing so much about Vol fans making the trip to Ohio for that away game. Look at the nicknames on the stadium, the Horseshoe, the Shoe, and oh, yes, what is that? Neyland North? We call that win number 2 for Vol Nation tonight.
Oh, yeah. You cannot give Vols fans 2 weeks to work on something. They got to get into mischief, and they've got to try to get behind enemy lines. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't somebody doing that tonight up there. Anyway, I expect there to be a ton of people at this game. And Trey Wallace reported, he said, I spoke with StubHub about how ticket sales were going for the college football playoff. He said buyers from Tennessee accounted for 37% of tickets sold compared to 34% from Ohio. So it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere for football, absolutely. It also says the Tennessee-Ohio State playoff has sold 35% more tickets than the number 2 game, which is SMU at Penn State. Also, ESPN Game Day will be there as well. So the party's coming to Columbus, and there's going to be a whole lot of Vols there to enjoy it with you folks. I don't care how cold it is. Tennessee folks are coming.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
And I saw this on College Football Addiction. I'll let you hear what Menace to Sports has to say about this game.
Where do you think Tennessee is in this thing? Like I know you do a lot of national stuff too, not just Ohio State, but just overall thoughts on Tennessee.
I mean, I think Tennessee, this is the first Tennessee team that I've seen in recent memory since Phil Fulmer that is actually somewhat of a national championship contender. I know they made the playoffs, so that's somewhat obvious, but I think this team really could win it all. If Nico throws the ball well and he's accurate and doesn't sail the ball like he's had a tendency to do, with this run game and Dylan Sampson, it's the best run game in the SEC for sure, and he's the best running back in the SEC, maybe the country. I know people will talk about Ashton Genty, but I love this kid. I mean, Georgia was able to shut down the run game, but not him. He was able to still make guys miss, find his own creases. He's a special player. And for years up here, they've talked about, I'd love to see one of them SEC teams come up here in the cold. It's like, all right, bucko, you got one. And unfortunately for you, it's probably the SEC team that's best fit to play in cold weather because they have a great run game, and then their defense is lights out. They have a championship caliber defense, top 5 in almost every analytic. And I think they're going to poise a lot of problems for Ohio State. You know, it's hard to get that lasting image of Ohio State's game plan against Michigan out of my mind, but I'm trying to just remember that's probably not what they're going to come into this game trying to do. But Ohio State's got a mess on the offensive line. I mean, 3 of their top 6 linemen are out for the remainder of the year, and they're talking about rotating guards. I mean, they're in a world of problems, and I don't know that they're going to be able to get the run game going against this defensive front that Tennessee brings in. They're going to have to throw the ball, and then Ryan Day made excuses at the Michigan game that it was a little windy and they didn't feel like they could throw it. Well, it's going to be windy as shit on the 21st, so they better get over it and figure out how to throw the football.
Yeah, and I'll be on College Football Addiction, by the way. We'll be recording it later today, and then he'll probably launch it the next day or two. So be looking for that. But anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, he later on went to say he thought Ohio State would find a way to win this ball game, especially being at home. I think they're going to need to throw it against us. I don't think they're going to be able to run too well against our defensive line. Our front seven's just too strong. But, they might surprise me. They got 2 great running backs, but I don't know if their offensive line, like he said, is going to be up to this. But, we'll see. But it's going to be a great ball game. But, again, the trolling, it's not stopping. I think it's only accelerating. And this whole Neyland North thing is hilarious. I mean, it's just – anyway, it's the first college football playoff, and Tennessee folks are pumped. So you're going to get a heck of a ball game, I think. All right, now we need to talk about Alabama. Holy crap. They're losing 5 stars so fast. I mean, it's really shocking. They just lost a 5-star who was a starter, freshman who was a phenomenal player. And I'll let you let Kangaroo Black tell you all about it.
The transfer portal is affecting every program in college football. But it seems to me that my Alabama Crimson Tide is having somebody enter their name in the portal on a daily basis. We had 2 players that enter their name today. Wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr., cornerback Jalen Mbakwe. Emmanuel Henderson Jr., he was recruited as a 4-star. Jalen Mbakwe, 5-star. Now, Jalen Mbakwe was a freshman, only spent 1 season with my Alabama Crimson Tide, and he got a lot of playing time as a true freshman. I mean, a lot. He also had an interception, too. But anyway, Jalen Mbakwe, he wasn't playing just freaking in garbage time. This guy was playing critical snaps in the game at critical times. But he decided to leave. Word on the street is he got offered a 7-figure deal from another football program. And word on the street, that program is Lane Kiffin and those Ole Miss Rebels. So if that's the case, if he's been offered a 7-figure deal and Coach Kalen DeBoer is not willing to match that, then I don't blame him for going. Because guess what? This is college football today. This is the era of the NIL, and with no parameters, no guardrails on the NIL and the transfer portal, these coaches is doing whatever they can to get the best players in college football without doing all the recruiting. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I got to agree with Kangaroo on that. It's look, somebody offers you 7 figures, and let's say Alabama's offering him $500,000. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. And if you look at all these guys that are leaving Alabama, it's a litany of big-time blue-chip players. And realize on these ratings, like if you see somebody that's a 95, 96, the best teams, their average ranking, like I'm talking about Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, places like that finish first in recruiting, their average player is usually a 92 or a 93. That's usually their average. Look at the ratings of these guys that are leaving Alabama. Prentice, 95. Henderson, 96. Payne, 96. Otis, 95. Devontae, 91.5. Hurley, 96. Haynes, 97. Lonergan, 93. Odom, 96. On down, I mean, just all down through here. These are guys that any team would have not only taken, they would have been the #1 recruit in their class for probably 2/3 of the teams in the Power Four. I'm not kidding when I say that either. I mean, very few teams get 5 stars. Alabama was loaded with them, and they're going where the money is, and I don't think there's a lot of them that feel like they're being utilized. The wide receivers and running backs, it was just the Jalen Milroe show last year. It was just give the ball to Jalen, let him run. And that's all they did on offense most of the year. And the other problem with that was he wasn't throwing the ball that well for a lot of the games. I don't know if he was hurt because, you know, when you run constantly like he did, he was getting hammered. Now, he's a powerful dude and in great shape, but look, you only get so many hits in football before you get hurt. I don't care who you are. You could be a tank. Eventually, somebody's going to catch you just right. And when you're a quarterback, you need everything to work. You know, you can't just go out there and play quarterback with a bum shoulder. It's not going to work out so well for you. So Alabama's dealing with a lot, and Lane Kiffin coming in there and taking a player from Alabama, are you kidding me? That's NIL, man. And like he said, there are no rules. There aren't.
Right now, there are no rules around how name, image, and likeness works. And for your audience, that's the opportunity for student athletes to benefit from their name, image, and likeness.
The president of NCAA said that, and that was before Tennessee whooped up on them. When they came after us and we wrecked them, and now there's no rules. So it is what it is.
Remember, you wanted this.
And I'm getting pumped about Saturday night. I know y'all are too. God, it's so great to be in this playoff. I'm loving it. I know the Ohio State fans are pumped. I know they're not thrilled with Ryan Day, but we'll see. Y'all might can win it all. You might lose Saturday night too. That's the beauty of college sports. You just don't know till it happens. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's know we'll continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, 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 right there it is. Hit that little button. It won't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. It's a pretty good deal. And right over here is the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on the algorithm. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.